opposition to 5093. My name is Catherine Gary. Here as a resident and a taxpayer. And again, I'll try to keep it brief. Thank you for sharing. So I just wanted to try to touch on a couple of points that may have not been made and skip over the rest. So one thing I would note is that opposition to this type of bill, and by type of bill I mean very broad-based approach to immigration enforcement as opposed to focusing on criminality. So, we're looking at the bill as it actually exists, which is broad-based. So opposition to this type of broad-based bill is widespread across the political spectrum. And in particular, the Wall Street Journal, which is not really noted for its liberalism, has come out across this kind of widespread bill. In a March 12th editorial in the Wall Street Journal written by the editorial board, they said that although they understood the quote and motive unquote of this type of bill, they came out against it on pragmatic considerations, citing the cost to taxpayers and the negative impact on law enforcement, which has been a case made very well by neighborhoods and others. So there's broad-based opposition to it, and then on the March 13th, the Wall Street Journal had a news article reporting that Trump supporters, as measured by survey data, mostly cite, quote, economic anxieties, unquote, such as, quote, trade, federal debt, and cost of foreign wars, unquote, as their main concerns. And they were less interested in immigration, and that's based on larger scale survey data. So the concerns of the Wall Street Journal are the cost of taxpayers and the negative impact of law enforcement, and I won't belabor those. And the next point I'd like to make is that this does not adhere to our usual standards when mandatory reporting is required, which typically have to do with imminent risk of injury or harm, such as doctors or psychologists who have to do that, as well as school teachers. It seems to go well beyond that, and I think the reason we typically don't go beyond that as a society is because of the negative impact that will occur when there is widespread mandatory reporting. And I think because as Americans, a lot of us haven't had any or much experience living in societies where that's the case, we really just don't know what that kind of culture is like. And I think to get a sense of it, one way to do that is to go back in time just a little bit and look behind the Iron Curtain and see what that kind of culture of informants does to the social fabric of society. And I think what you get is that people sort of turtle, and they stop talking to each other, they stop forming as many friendships, they stop chatting with colleagues in the hall, they get to their office and close their door, they won't talk to neighbors in the street. If you ask them if they know somebody, they'll minimize the discussion, and that's just really counter to our whole history of American neighborliness that other people have made a very good case about. And then people have also brought up the negative impact on families, and I won't go into that too much, except to say that the impact can be long-term and both economic and in terms of public health. Certainly if people lose their primary caregivers, if children lose their primary caregivers when they're very young, that's going to have long-term economic and psychological and public health consequences that will ultimately lead to additional burden on the state. So thank you very much, and that's all.